Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today is Monday, December the 6th, and I'm Farid Younos. You're watching Omid 24, broadcasting from Canada, Toronto, Canada. And I wish you all a healthy and beautiful week ahead of you. Please be careful with the new variant, the virus, the variant Omicron that is spread around the world. So make sure that you're wearing your mask and avoid big crowd and protect yourselves because protecting yourselves is your responsibility, not just from disease, but from facade, corruption, from wrongdoing, from anything bad. Because if you do something bad, you are responsible. God is not responsible for what you do wrong. Even if you have a bad intention to someone and to do something and your intention is wrong, Inna Allah alimu bizat sudur. The Quran says that Allah knows what is in your heart. So even if you have a bad intention, you are responsible for that. So protect yourself not only from disease but other wrongdoing. If you want to be an honest, good citizen and citizen of the world, because we are one humanity. Humanity is one, not just your nationality. We are all one humanity. We are all either sister and brothers in deen, or we are sister and brothers in creation. Because according to Islam, we all came from Adam and Eve. So protect yourself. That's my first advice to you this Monday, December the 6th. It's important. I had a question from a young lady. Not a question, but she asked me to talk about our youth not paying attention to their religion or deen. First of all, you need to know that deen, and I mentioned that 1 year ago, deen is not religion. Deen, it's a complete way of life. It's a culture. It's a civilization. It is encompass everything that you encounter in your lifetime. That's what deen is all about. So one thing that many people misunderstood, they think that deen is only a aqidah or a belief system. And so if you do not have it, so what? That's not true. Deen is a culture. Deen is a civilization. Deen is a school of thought. Deen is a way of life. Deen is morality. Deen is akhlaq, ethics. Everything that you know of as a human being, and it is in your life, everything, nothing left behind. It's in deen. So when you are without deen, it's like an astronaut in the space and does not know and how to land, where to land and rely upon. So this is, and deen is not religion. I mentioned that 1 year ago when I started this program in English. Religion it's rituals. It's a forced translation to deen. Deen cannot be translated in any other language. This is another thing that many, many people do not know. It cannot be translated in any language. And since cannot be translated in any language, I'm using only the word of deen, because religion is just a forced translation. Religion is just some rituals. It's just like, my name is Farid. Farid reads the daily paper religiously. Farid reads the daily paper religiously. So that means he is doing it every day without thinking, without pondering, without improving himself, without nothing happens when you do it religiously. And some people, some Muslims, they are practicing Islam not out of love to Allah, but just as a habit. In one hand, he is praying 5 times. On the other hand, he is insulting somebody. So that means that he's far, far away from deen. Or he is fasting and then he is using bad language. Then that's not deen. Or, as I mentioned in the beginning, he has bad intention toward somebody, toward a friend, a colleague, a woman. And he does not remember that God sees him, he knows his heart, and he knows what he's doing because he's watching over us. So the first thing you need to know that many, the young lady said that why many young people left our, not left, but they're indifferent towards deen, is because they do not know what deen is all about. And everything is deen. So whatever you do, wherever you go, anywhere, God is with you. You're not alone. He's watching you. And he sees you. So you're not alone. So when you're doing something wrong, you are out of deen. So deen is not just a simple aqidah that you think that, well, this is his aqidah, that's my aqidah. That's not deen. The deen of Allah is one and the same. It's revealed to all humanity. And everybody is accountable for his own deed and creed. But according to Islam, and it is a culture, it's a way of life. But what's very important, that if you forget Allah, he will forget you. That's why so many people are in trouble. Just 2-3 nights ago, today is Monday, just last Saturday, 2 days ago, I was invited to officiate a wedding. and do a nikah. When I left the building, I saw some of our youth in the parking lot, and they were drinking alcoholic beverages. So they're not believing in Deen. They don't. It's not a matter of just belief. They are not living with this system, because the whole universal system is Deen. So when you leave Deen and not follow the principles of Deen, you are not within the universal system. And I was we this is America. You can't say somebody, and there was a police car just 2 cars away from their car. There was a police car with 2 police officers standing by, and they can't say anything because that's not a crime in this country. But you do a crime to yourself, to your health, to your economy. And if you are drive drunk, of course, you cause accident and you kill some innocent people on the highway. So Deen is not just a belief system. Deen, this is what my point is, that when you're out of Deen, then you are not within this universal system. What can you do? When you are not in this universal system, what can you do? You will find another God. And this is what many people misunderstood about Deen. As I said, even if you have a very, very simple wrong intention against somebody, you are accountable for that. Forget about aggression, insulting, backbiting, gossiping. Even if you have a very simple bad intention, you're accountable, because Allah knows your heart. So why our youth are not interested in Deen? Because they do not know the universal system, that the whole universal system is Deen. Who created the moon? Who created the sun? Who created the nature? Who created you? Only one God. It doesn't matter what quote unquote, what religious denomination you practice. You are a creation of one and the only God. And you are part of this universal system. And I have explained this long time ago. You are part of this universal system, and the universal system is part of you because you're a natural entity. Mankind is a natural entity, according to the Quran, made of dust, and then when we die, we become dust again. So we recycle. So our death is not something very amazing thing. It's a part of natural life. We all die one day. So sociologically speaking, why people are leaving Deen is because they do not know the value of Deen. Deen is not aggression. Deen is not imposed on you. La ikra fi deen, the Quran says. Let be no compulsion in religion or Deen. That's the English translation. Let be no compulsion in religion. Deen cannot be forced on you. No one can force you to pray. No one can force you to fast. No one can force you to do anything, because God Almighty created you free. But he made you responsible for your own actions, in deed, in creed, in what you do in this life. But he also warned you that you are accountable in the hereafter, and you're accountable to the law of the nation now. So there is a verse in the Quran which says that if you do something wrong, I think I mentioned that, it's your problem. It's done by you. But if something good happens to you, that's from God. If something good happens for you, that's from God. But if something bad happens to you, this is from yourself. Why? Because you did not understand your value system. And people are indifferent towards deen. People thinking that, oh, so what? If I'm not a Muslim, so what? If I'm not following deen, so what? Nothing. You take your own destiny in your hands, and you're accountable for all consequences to the law of the nation and to the law of God, or God himself. And that is sad. Why this is sad? Because when I see a young guy drinking in the parking lot, I see how ignorant he is. Because jahl, or jahilun, the plural of jahl, those who are ignorant, this does not mean that when you are driving a expensive car or you are making a lot of money, then you are not a jahil. This is another thing that many of our youth and even adults misunderstood about the meaning of jahil in Islam, the meaning of ignorance in Islam. Ignorance in Islam is not because of your high academic education. It's not your academic titles. It is not your wealth. It's not your family name. It is jahil, or ignorant, is the one who is not understanding deen. He is not understanding the universal system. He does not know his relationship with this creation. He does not know why he is coming to this world, why he is living in this world, and not knowing the exact date and time why he's leaving this world. He doesn't know. I know as a Muslim why I came to this world, why I'm living in this world, and why I'm leaving this world. I know that. But those who leave deen and out of that orbit of deen, out of that orbit, they don't know that. And that is what jahil is. Because he's out of that universal system. Not only sociologically or anthropologically speaking, that he does not know his values. What is his values or her values? In the most beautiful values of a human being, it is his God-conscious value. Not any other value, his God-conscious value. We have some youth that they are reading a lot of philosophical treatises and premises and writing of philosophers. There's nothing wrong with that. But philosophers never been a light or a path of the truth and understanding for humanity. Otherwise, everybody would have worshipped Plato or Aristotle. But they are not the light for humanity. There's nothing wrong to read them. Why not? I read them all. But at the same time, I was just looking for a book, but it looks like I misplaced it somewhere. Next time I will show it to you. So make sure that you understand that you are not a jahil. You're not an ignorant. Ignorant is not that because you have a master degree or you have a lot of wealth or you're driving an expensive car. Ignorance in Islam is when you do not know your existence in relation to this universal system. You do not know that you're part of this universal system. You do not know about the creator of this universal system. You do not know what is his expectation for you in this world. So many of our youth that they don't care about deen and they're ignorant. And it's not only our youth, excuse me, there are many adults. And there are some who are God conscious, but they do not know Islam scientifically. That's also another problem. And I saw that when I went to Morocco, I went to Middle East, and my last trip was to Uzbekistan. They are Muslims, but without having a very strong scientific understanding of Islam. And nowadays, because the West is much more advanced in technological adventure, in sciences, many of our youth think that these people, they're also advanced in cultural values. And that's another misunderstanding. Because technology and technological adventure and all, they're very good in every epoch, every era has had its own technological advances. But look at the United States. How many people are being raped every year? Just go and Google. And the United States is the oldest democracy in the world. Look at how many people are dying because of alcoholic beverages on the road. Look and Google how many people are starving and they are living in poverty in the same very democracy. Because these systems are not designed for justice. And justice comes only from God. So, a lot of wrong things happening in the same society under the name of freedom and democracy. While people are not totally free, they're controlled by 1% of top-notch capitalists. We are working for them. There are very good books about these issues, that how they control you. Next week, I will make sure to show you some good books, how our system works. So don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. If you're not living within this universal system, and we call it Islam and some other people call it whatever, I don't know. But you need to know that the whole universal system is deen. In this, like there are some ignorant people, they separate deen from politics and deen from economics, deen from family life, deen. These are ignorant people because they don't know that the whole system is one. The whole system is one. For example, in the Quran speaks about interest rate, which we call it sood, usury. Go and Google how much damages this interest rate did to developing countries. Oh, by the way, I have one of my book was just here. Read this, The Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. The Shock Doctrine, Disaster Capitalism. The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. You can see the rise. Here's the rise. The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. The Shock Doctrine. See how much sood or interest rate by capitalists damage the world economy and brought poverty, famine, and other problems. Just one example from the Quran. And then there's a naive and ignorant man says, well, let's make politics away from deen. This ignorant man does not know that politics cannot be separated from deen, because deen is everything. It's economics, it's politics, it's family life, social relationship, ecology. My brother, Professor Younos, he has written a beautiful book about ecology. This is in Farsi, about ecology, and explained the ecological system from a scientific point of view, but based on the Quran. That how much the Quran deals with ecological system. So our ignorance is in our problems within our family, problem with social system, problem with the political system, because we want to stay away from deen. I just left a group of a few people that they were trying to find a solution for the problem of Afghanistan. But no one wanted to clearly talk about an Islamic value for Afghanistan. To be replaced this radical, un-Islamic Taliban. Even our educated class, they do not know about the value of deen within the universal system. They think that this is just a aqidah, and if you have it or if you don't have it, that's okay. Even the educated class do not know. So I don't blame our youth, being 22 years old or 20 years old, to not know about this. But please read the Quran, read books that's written about the Quran, and educate yourself and stay with deen, so you'll have a better, much more comfortable life without any trouble, without any problem, And the felicity and well-being of you is within deen. Because if you do not follow deen, you make accidents. And that's your fault. It's not the fault of God. And this is today's show. I'll see you next week. Thank you very much, and have a beautiful evening or day wherever in the world you are in. And I wish you a very good week. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum